Good morning, everybody. Today I'm doing my first Q&A and I'm going to be answering the questions that you ask. But first, I'm going to take Kezzy for a hike. It's been in the 90s lately, and today it's a high of 88, so I'm going to take full advantage of the beautiful weather this morning. We've done this hike before, but it's just a really easy, good one to do, and it's quick. It's only 1.8 miles. I was pretty lazy on breakfast this morning, so I had this smoothie. It's pretty much just yogurt in a bottle. And then, of course, I can't go without my beef stick. She's very eager, so we're going to have to get on the trail. And today we're doing the Green Mountain Hayden Loop Trail. This trail is very popular for cyclists, so hopefully there's not too many and we're not in their way today. Unfortunately, I forgot to charge my phone, so I'm gonna answer some of the questions now and then I'll answer the rest of them when I get home when I can charge my phone. What are you smelling, Kez? I see Denver. This is a really, really pretty hike. The first question is, how many states have I traveled to? So I've been to 34, which means I have 16 more to go. And as long as everything goes to plan, I'll be crossing off 7 more this summer. It's 63 degrees out, but with the sun beating on me, it feels closer to 80. I'm getting warm. Sunflowers used to be my favorite flower. The next question is, do I have any plans of going to Michigan? As of right now, I don't have any plans, but I haven't been there since I was a kid, so I would absolutely love to go. If I have enough time to squeeze it in on my way to New England, maybe, but that's pretty unlikely at the moment. The next question is, what did I do for work before I joined Sarah's channel? I had a lot of jobs over the years, but before I joined her channel, I had been serving for 2 years. And then before that, I worked in management, and before that, I was in solar. I love bouncing around and trying new things. That's kind of what always worked for me. But for now, I'm doing YouTube, and it's been really, really fun. And then to bounce off the last question, this one is, what do I do for work now? So I joined Sarah's channel almost a year ago, and I recently started my own. So as of right now, YouTube is my main source of income. And we're heading back down. We're back at the car, and I really need to get a new hiking bag. This was just a random bag that was gifted to me years and years ago, so it's time to upgrade, but I just don't know what to get. I have been researching like crazy, and I really like the pack that Sarah has, but it's the only color I like, and I think it could get a little confusing if I get the same one as her. So if you guys have any suggestions on good backpacks for just like day packs, like 20 liter, maybe 22 liter, please let me know, because I like the ones that have the zippers. I don't like the ones that have like the drawstring and then you like roll them down. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I really, really, really need a new bag badly. A little change of plans. I went home and dropped Kezzy off, and then Sarah asked if I want to go on a picnic date, so now we're gonna go get lunch and have a little picnic.
Yay!
I think we're really big picnic people, but the weather has been way too cold while we've lived here, and then the last like week or two it's been in the 90s, so it's been way too hot. And now it's finally perfect. All right, tell everyone what you got.
Chips and sandwiches.
I got a Chipotle steak sandwich with pink chip Himalayan salt chips.
And I got blueberry pesto.
I think that one's gonna be really good. Ooh, that looks really good.
Yeah, look at all that blueberry.
Oh, that looks so good. What do you rate it?
I rated it yesterday 7.5. I was giving you a bite.
Oh.
You like it?
The flavors go so well together.
Is it better than mine? That's good.
All right, girls, are we ready to go to Kezzy's next session? Kezzy's been seeing a trainer to work on her dog reactivity, and I think we have 2 more sessions left. She's been making a lot of progress, which has been really nice. I'm back home from Kezzy's session. I was able to clean up, so now I'm just gonna sit down and go over the rest of these questions. There are quite a few of them, but I'm gonna try and answer them as well as I can and kind of quickly, so you're not sitting here for the next 50 minutes just having to listen to me talk. So the first question is, what are my favorite things about Colorado and my least favorite? I would say I absolutely love the nature. I love the mountains. I love the hiking. It's really not that far from us, and even the really far drives are always so worth it because the views are insane here. It's really cool seeing the wildlife. I am a little scared of wildlife sometimes if I get too close, but that's also super awesome. And the summer here is absolutely beautiful. I know we're only in June, but it's really nice, and it's nice to go out in the summer and actually enjoy the weather, unlike in Arizona. But my least favorite things I would definitely say are the drivers. Honestly, like I know every state has its bad drivers, but it is a city, so of course there's a lot of people. But yeah, the driving here it's pretty bad. I had really bad car anxiety when we first moved here because in the first, I want to say 3 days, we almost got hit 7 times. So it was pretty rough, but I've gotten used to the drivers here. I've gotten used to the roads a bit, so it's not as bad as it was. I also just think the driving is worse in the winter. And then the other thing I don't love about Colorado is that the food is not great here. I've been to a couple good restaurants, but all in all, I'm just not that impressed by the food scene. The next question is, do I genuinely feel happier living this lifestyle or just freer? Or has this lifestyle brought me peace, or am I still searching for something? So I wouldn't say I'm searching for anything. I never really have been. I think very early on, when I was really young, before I was even in my 20s, I knew that my life might not look completely the same as everyone else's, and I might not follow those traditional expectations and ideas for what life's supposed to look like. And I was okay with that, and I've been living my life like that for 10 years now. No, 9 years. I've been living my life like that for like 9 years now, and I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. And it's brought me a lot of happiness, and I would say it's brought me a lot of peace too. I feel very confident in the way that I've chosen to live my life. But yeah, I'm very content with living my life this way. How did I come up with my dog's name? So when I got Kezzy, I had just watched the movie Parent Trap, and in the movie there's a character named Chessie, and I just like unique names. Like I absolutely love unique names, and I just thought that was an interesting one. So I was like, how can I make a dog name out of this with a K? So I just started throwing letters into there, and I came up with Kezzy. So it's Kayla and Kezzy. And she has some nicknames, so I call her Kezlyn, Kezzylyn, Kezzy Ray, Kez. But yeah, I've never heard of another Kezzy, and I just love that it seemed unique to me, so I ran with it. The next question is, how long was I traveling before I met Sarah? So I really started traveling about 9 years ago. My sister and I did our first ever road trip. It was just the two of us when we were 19 years old, and that kind of just jump-started our passion for traveling. So over the last 9 years, I've really gotten into the nomadic community, van life community, long road trips, tried to dabble in seasonal work there for a little bit. I've just done a lot of different things, and I've never been a full-time nomad. I've always considered myself to be a part-time nomad, which to me just means that I've never lived on the road full-time. I just do it part-time. So I might go for a few months or a couple months or a couple weeks, and then I'll come back and then stay home for a couple months and then go, or a couple weeks and then go. It's just what's worked for me, and I enjoy living that way. And then to follow up with that question, it's what has changed the most about my life since meeting Sarah. So obviously I travel so much more now. Before, traveling was just a part of my life, and now traveling pretty much is my life. And I hike a lot more. I've always been a hiker. I've loved the outdoors, I love hiking, but being with Sarah, I hike so much more than I ever did. I hike almost every single day now, especially being in Colorado, but I have no complaints. It's really good for me, and it's really good for Kezzy. And then of course, adding another dog into my life, Summit has been such an amazing addition, but it's definitely been so different having 2 dogs versus just 1. Okay, the next question is, what was the scariest or weirdest encounter Kezzy and I had on the road? It's actually kind of funny because the fact that this is the scariest thing that's happened is just funny to me. And that was last summer when Sarah, Kezzy, Summit, and I were traveling in the RAV4. We were pulled off on the side of the road sleeping at like a pull-off, and I had woken up in the middle of the night, and I like looked over and I realized Sarah wasn't there, but the dogs and I were all there. But I was too tired to really process what was happening. And it wasn't until the next morning that I was like, oh my gosh, Sarah wasn't even in the car when I woke up. So the next day I'd realized Sarah had full on got out of the car in the middle of the night. She didn't realize she did this, but she had gotten out of the car looking for Summit. So when Sarah had first got Summit, she had really bad anxiety about bad things happening to Summit, or losing her, or her running off, or just something. So yeah, we had a lot of nights where Sarah would just frantically wake up and like start looking for Summit even though she was right there. And on that particular night, she had full on got out of the car and was walking around the car looking for her. But I was too tired to even realize what was actually happening until the next day. So that was spooky. Based on my travels, where do I think the ideal place to live is? I wouldn't say this is based on my travels because I feel like when you travel, your idea of a place is not as realistic as if you're actually living there because you don't really have the same responsibilities, you don't have the same like actual lifestyle. But I will say I'm very biased. I think the Midwest is one of the best places to live. Given it does have harsh winters, but summers there are amazing, people there are amazing. It's just, I don't know, it's just such a beautiful place to live and I absolutely love the Midwest. So that's my answer. Which cities do I think has the best food? Don't come for me if you don't agree with this, okay? This is my opinion. But I think that Nashville has some of the best food I have ever had in my entire life. The food scene there is insane. And Phoenix has a lot of good food, but Nashville still takes the #1 spot. Phoenix is just a really, really big city with a lot of options, so I think it's kind of hard not to find good food there. Okay, the next question is, do I have any plans for a trip north into Canada? And my answer is kind of the same as Michigan. I don't have any plans, but I'd really like to go there. I know there's so much to see and so much to do, so I think it'd be really cool, but that might be a trip we plan after we don't have this apartment anymore. And this is a question a lot of people have been asking for months, and I finally have the answer to that, so I can now answer it. And that is, what is the make and model and the year of the van that we were traveling in? It is a 2001 Roadtrek 190 with a Dodge chassis. I love that van so much. It is older, but it gets the job done. It has everything you could possibly need, and it has so much space in it. Next question is, how is it feasible to have an apartment when you're out traveling? So I know for some people, probably doesn't make sense, but for us, it did. And we don't plan on re-signing. We don't plan on getting another apartment. This is just kind of something we wanted to do because we're only this young once and we got to experience what it's like to live in a space that's not a car and instead an actual apartment. And Sarah wanted to live in a city and now we've gotten to do that and it's just been really cool. We've gotten to do so many things, experience so many things, and I'm someone that absolutely needs to have a home base, needs to have a reset, and Kezi's kind of the same way, like as a dog. So it's just been really, really good for us. And yeah, like we're gonna enjoy it for as long as we can until our lease is up. Okay, so this next one is just kind of asking like what the backstory is on this chapter of my life and kind of what led me to being here. So like I had said, I'd been traveling on and off for 9 years. This has been a huge part of my life. The nomadic community has been a huge part of my life and who I am as a person. And so when I met Sarah, it just kind of made sense. Like that's kind of what I was hoping to find in someone, just didn't know it was actually possible. But before that, I would say I had played softball competitively for many, many years, and I played softball through my freshman year of college. And then I realized, you know, this isn't good for me anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And that summer I decided I'm going to start traveling, and I did. And then I just fell in love with it. And for the last 9 years, I've worked so many jobs, odd jobs here, odd jobs there. And pretty much all of those were amazing opportunities because they allowed me to have this free lifestyle, to just pick up and go when I want, to go travel when I wanted. And I'm just really lucky and really fortunate to have found the jobs I did and to kind of just have had the support from the people in my life telling me to just do what I want, to go live my life. So very quick backstory on kind of how I got here. What are my dream places to visit / travel? I have so many. I want to reach all 50 states before I'm 30. I'm so close. And then I would really like to go to Greece. I really would like to go to Ireland. I want to just travel all over Europe. Sarah and I were just talking about wanting to go to Vietnam. That'd be pretty cool. And she's already been to Thailand, but I really like to go there as well. I just want to go everywhere. I do. It's just hard with the dogs. Like international travel is definitely harder with the dogs, but I want to go everywhere. Do I prefer car camping or rooftop camping? Definitely car camping. It's just easier since we have the dogs, and if we were just out camping, like sure, rooftop would be great because you have more space, but without the dogs. Traveling on the road, definitely car camping. Next question, have I traveled out of the country and which countries did I like the most? I have. I haven't done a ton of international travel. I've done a couple cruises, and then I went to Italy for Sarah's sister's wedding last summer, and my sister and I did a backpacking trip when we were 21 years old, and we went to Sweden, and then we went to Copenhagen in Denmark. But I loved Sweden. It was so beautiful. It was so different than it is here. But yeah, I would love to go back to Italy and see more of it. And I would definitely like to go to Mexico again and explore more of that country as well. I've also been to Canada, but I haven't seen much of it. My favorite place I've been to, I would probably say Alaska. I was in Alaska for 2 weeks, several years ago, pre-COVID. and it was amazing. One of the best trips I've ever been on. It was absolutely beautiful. What position did I play and have I found a team in Colorado? So I was a pitcher and a middle infielder, but when I got to college, I primarily just pitched. And I have not found a team. I probably never will. I have not played softball since my last game when I was 19. I have a very bad right shoulder now. I did not take good care of it, and it would probably just be too painful to even try and play. So yeah. So this one is recommendations for someone just starting out traveling in a vehicle. Honestly, when I started, it was my sister and I crammed in a Buick Rendezvous. It was spacious but not comfortable, and we just had a blanket on the bottom floor and then just our pillows. And we made it work. And I don't even think we had a cooler. I don't really think we had anything. So you just kind of learn as you go. You slowly figure out what works for you, what doesn't, what you need, what you don't. If you're looking for dispersed spots, iOverlander is the way to go. That's what we use a lot. Just start with one night somewhere, just to work your way into it. I know it can be scary, but the more you do it and the more you practice it, the better it is and the easier it becomes. This question is, where did I grow up? So I grew up in Wisconsin, and then I moved to Arizona when I was a teenager. This is why I love the Midwest so much. I go back every single year. I have family there, I have friends there, and I love that state so much. The summers there are absolutely beautiful. Okay, what is my favorite TV series? All-time favorite, there's two, is Supernatural or Roseanne, the OG Roseanne from like the 90s. Love those shows. And then what is my dream job? I'm pretty much living my dream job. I always said I wanted to travel and get paid to do it, but I have a new one that I'd also like to achieve one day, and that is owning a dog boarding facility and potentially becoming a dog trainer. I have two more questions that have to do with Arizona. So this one is my favorite place in Arizona to camp, and that would be Crown King. It's a really small little mountain town. I haven't been up there in years, so I'm not sure what the road conditions are like. I remember being really tough to get up there. I think it's like washed out. I think it was all the rainfall washed it out. I can't remember now, but there is a restaurant up there that is really good. The stargazing up there is incredible. I saw one of the most incredible meteor showers of my life. I will never see anything like that ever again. It was incredible. So yeah, if you're in Arizona and you have a good off-roading high clearance vehicle, highly suggest going to Crown King and going camping up there. Okay, that was actually my last question, but thank you so much to everyone that sent their questions in. I'm really glad I could answer some. I might do a Q&A again in the future, but hopefully that helped you get to know me just a little bit more. I have a really fun few days coming up, and I'm really excited to show you guys all of that next week in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.